Folks, it's amazing and disappointing that a nation known as Pakistan is in such a dire situation, in a situation no democratic country has ever been, in a situation where its future is doubtful, in a situation where world is about to give up on this country and divide it in many pieces. And this is all because of few thugs, few low IQ interpass journals who are responsible for absolute destruction of this country. We know very well they are controlling the country for last 70 years. From day one, we know that they were making good money on phony issues, like in Kashmir war, they were getting 60 to 70% of the country's budget. And from that day on, they never allowed any civilian government to work in peace, to do anything for the country, and the whole country was at the mercy of these few interpass gangsters. They have no humanity, they have no respect of law, they don't believe in constitution, they abrogate it as and when they know it is necessary for their power, and the rule of law has no meaning for them. Particularly in the last 14 months, they have converted this country, which was running reasonably acceptable way, not doing very good, because Pakistan, with the situation and the ideology it is under, it can never progress. There is no way a country like Pakistan, which is enveloped by three major issues, which Pakistan Army has used from day one, and that is by taking away every human right of the people, by taking away every opportunity of the people, and by taking away every civilian leader who comes, works, and if he excels, they start itching in their back and remove him. No civilian leader has completed 5-year terms in Pakistan. Even right from the day one, when Ghulam Muhammad dismissed the civilian government and he took over the power from a Bengali prime minister, we saw that the military inserted by force its power. From day one, we know that when Ghulam Muhammad was attacked, had a paralysis attack, he installed Iskandar Mirza, a journal, and then he dismissed him in a very few months and took over the power. From then on, the power went to Ayub Khan, who was again a low IQ. When I say low IQ, I am 100% sure that every Pakistani journal has less IQ than a 10th grader in Pakistan, because they come from an environment which is not very feasible to create smart people. Majority of the Pakistan Army comes from two divisions in Punjab and KP, and majority of the journals and the officer grade is taken out from Punjab or some of the lower middle class people, and then they are groomed to sabotage and destroy the country. When they get graduation in PMA, the military academy, they take an oath that they will not get involved in any kind of politics. But the very next day, they are told by these military journals that you have to stay away from civilians. They are bloody civilians, they have no brain, and we are born to rule the country and safeguard it. What really happened, that whenever they took over the country, or whenever they had any power, they only destroyed it from within. Today we have a situation when it is imploding from within, and the world is watching right in front of their eyes that how a promising, not so promising, but a reasonably promising country is being destroyed by its own military, who calls his civilians bloody civilians, who hate civilians. You will be surprised to know that every officer in Pakistan military is told to stay away from civilians. Even when they go home, they never go to some family gathering. They never go to any marriage halls. They stay at home or stay with their professor. When they go on the higher status, they are totally disconnected. And they destroy the country from the rule of law point of view and from the rule of constitution. They don't believe in any of this. We have seen hundreds of cases where even their families, they beat the law enforcement agencies like police or guards or traffic signal constables and all that, and they said, you cannot do anything to me, and they shrap, and then they beat the hell out of them, and then they get away with this. Under military action, there have been a lot of cases of rapes, and particularly in Balochistan and in KP, they have violated every human right in those two places. They have bombarded their own people. They have sabotaged their own civilians. They have done everything which not even an enemy will do. That is why I am of the opinion that this army is actually not a Pakistani army. This army has been created in line what we saw historically and most recently from Ottoman example, where they collected boys from non-Turkish areas, they trained them, and then they put them as a journal and bureaucrats, and that was the time when Turkey started becoming the sick man of Europe. Pakistan also is very unfortunate from that point of view, that these journals, they made Pakistan sick man of Asia with no future at all. I mean, I will be surprised if Imran Khan stay alive. And even if he alive and come to power, even he will not be able to do anything, because the situation was so grim and so hopeless that millions have left the country just to save their life. Forget about the future. Right now, nobody's future is safe. Everybody is running out of the country. They are killing journalists. They are sabotaging every civilian party. And now they are after the most famous, most known political party, which has over 80% support in the country. They give a damn about it. So the way the Ottomans did in 18th century, as a matter of fact, end of 17th century, that when they installed these kind of journals and these kind of people who were out of touch with the Turkish or any civilian society, they went down and ultimately dismembered. The world is watching Pakistan, and it is not that far away when we will have our nuclear assets taken away and we will have country divided in many smaller countries like Yugoslavia. And all these journals who are billionaire now will be looking for American visas and European visas and will run away. Their future is not so important, but the future of 220 million Pakistanis is in absolute jeopardy. They have nowhere to go. The economy, the scientific development, the social setup, and on top of that, the rule of law is totally gone. Nobody believes that Pakistan is a country now. Everybody knows that this is a country which is dying slowly for surely. it will not be able to survive, because we have taken away every human right, every woman right, every kid's right. We have taken away every honor. I mean, imagine, we saw a picture last week when Nawaz Sharif and this stupid Chief of Army Staff was raising hand, standing in KP, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And all these three, and the one sitting behind them, Khwaja Asif, is a Punjabi. So they were declaring a victory over Pathans. I mean, this is very humiliating. And this is going to cost them big time when this is over. You have taken panga with every nation. You have destroyed Sindhis, you have killed Balochis, and now the Pathans. They have left Punjab all alone. And just the Punjab, which is a landlocked area, will not be able to save itself from the challenges Pakistan has all around its borders. India, not a friend. Afghanistan, not a friend. Iran, no such a good friend. And then we have in the South Indian Ocean, which is also not that friendly. It is impossible that the Pakistanis can accept this kind of military who has literally destroyed the country to almost total annihilation. There is no way this country can survive few more years, because the development, the GDP, which was 6% at the time of Imran Khan, is now 0%. And now the government is celebrating the loan from IMF. Imagine, if you look into the Ottoman history, you will see that the day when Turkey took loan from Europe, they were rejoicing. And there were cartoons in European newspapers saying that now the Turkey will kneel down in front of us. And why Turkey that took that loan? Because they were not able to meet their expenses. The lavish lifestyle of the kings, the lavish lifestyle of the bureaucracy, and because of the central governing, Turkey was unable to maintain its vast country over 3 continents. And all of this collapsed slowly and gradually, and ultimately Turkey was defeated. Turkey was backstabbed by Arabs. Turkey was backstabbed by East Europe, and slowly they lost everything until the Ataturk came, and then he saved a very small part. Same thing is going to happen to Pakistan, because we have the same situation. We are not producing enough. We are not collecting enough taxes. We are not doing anything for the people, particularly the poor, or giving them an equal opportunity where they can make a life. Because as we know very clearly, since last 70 years, in the beginning until 9/11, Pakistan was created, or Pakistan was running on the basis of 3 A's: America, Allah, and Army. And they used Allah to an extent even Allah will be crying if we come here alive, because they violated every rule, every principle, every ideology which are supposedly from Allah. And they did everything for America. Now imagine, in 1954 they signed CENTO contract in Bangkok by a military brigadier without accepting or getting the approval from civilian prime minister. And then they went on indulge ourselves in CENTO. We had nothing to do in any of these contracts, but Pakistan military was looking for opportunities wherever he can get dollars. And this is how they have run the country for 70 years. Because Liaquat Ali Khan made a reasonable decision of joining American alliance, he had helped Pakistan to get into Western Bloc, which helped them get some loan and some assistance, some training, and this is how Pakistan was able to run in the first 5 to 10 years. And that created a reasonable economic activity in Pakistan. And then they started progressing very slow. During Ayub Khan, we had some positive indicators, but the idea of putting country under an undemocratic system, using basic democracy, and all that nonsense, and voice taping the politicians' telephone messages and then blackmailing them. Today, the same thing is being done by military for 70 years. Today, now they are making video tapes. They are making intimate videos, husband and wife videos, and taping every phone of everybody and creating a file. I mean, Imran Khan reasonably asked a question when General Bajwa, the worst general Pakistan ever had, that is this the job of intelligence agency? When Bajwa said, we have files on your ministers, we have files on Buzdar, and we have files on your wife. So his question was very valid. Which country in the world the intelligence agency will record and make videos of its own people? Which country in the world the military general will have all the power of foreign minister, economic minister, religious minister, you name it? Even the budget is advised by the military. While these people, as I've said before, they are very low IQ, their brain is very small, because the brain grows only when you are in the people. When you are in a block, totally taken away from the society, you don't have brain to think about. Your brain does not grow. You only do left, right, and parade, and appreciate the boss all the time, 24/7. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That does not increase your brain, because you are not allowed to ask questions. You are not allowed to criticize anything. You just have to say yes, sir. And the same yes, sir people later on become major, colonel, brigadier, major general, 3-star general, 4-star general, and then went on and destroyed the country further. We have seen the example of Bangladesh. Until 1990, they had influence of military generals, and Bangladesh was very poor. Then they changed the constitution. They took away Islam from constitution, and they controlled the mullahs, and then they allowed the free market, human rights, particularly helping the poor. We know very well the example what Grameen Bank created, where they changed the life of the poor in millions. And today, Bangladesh export is twice as much as Pakistan, and it is going to be 3 times in the next 2 years. They export over 50 billion, while we are reeling around 24 billion. The point is that in every history, whenever you have journal and mullahs involved in politics, the country can only face destruction. There is no way Pakistan can survive until these crooks, who have literally taken away everything positive from Pakistan. They have invaded civilians' home in the middle of the night, beating them in front of their grandkids. They have taken away their daughters, their mothers, and even their small kids. And this journal, Asim Munir, which is really a very, very low IQ journal, ever existed on this planet, has no shame to accept what they did. They have the mothers and daughters in their custody just because they protested against the arrest of Imran Khan. And the whole 9 May incident, the whole world knows very well who planned it and who allowed it to happen. I mean, one should listen to Etazaz and Khosa, who have literally said that this was an entrapment. Means, आओ और हमें जलाओ. That was the idea, and they used that incident to destroy PTI, the only party which can reasonably run the country. Not that Pakistan can progress, because the ideology of Pakistan and the fact that it has a very anti-foreign mentality. Everybody hates Europe. Everybody hates America. Even people hate China. They killed Chinese in cold blood because the military, they inducted the hate of other nations from day one. From the time, particularly using parties like Jamaat Islami and the Deobandi sections like Maulana Fazl Haq, they literally told every foreigner is a Jewish agent, is an Israeli agent. Even they call Imran Khan as an Israeli agent. I mean, the person who is so far the most honest politician in Pakistan, the person who has not made even a penny from when he was in power. But as I said, the military will not allow any civilian party to excel and reduce their influence and power in the country. Will they be able to continue this with the current political setup they are trying to design or working on? It is yet to be seen. Will they kill Imran Khan? It is yet to be seen. But if it happens, then this country is totally doomed. The world will not allow such a country to exist anymore. This is my belief, that if we don't get rid of these thug, interpass idiots who have monopolized and economically controls everything in Pakistan. I mean, which military in the world is called Military Inc.? Which military in the world runs a cement factory or fertilizer factory or marriage halls? I mean, you name it. I mean, this is unbelievable that they were living in a Jinnah house, violating the basics of morality, that if it was Jinnah house, it is a national heritage. Nobody should live in there. Everything should be protected. But the fact is, it was not a Jinnah house because Jinnah never lived there. Jinnah only leased it for a short time. And when Jinnah tried to get that house, the military said no. And then he did not further pursue it because he didn't want house in Lahore anyway. So the point is that they are using every mean possible to continue their power, their stupid control, and this is the same situation which Ottoman had and were dismantled by West. The time is not that far when this country will be dismantled same way as Ottoman. In the next episode, we will talk about why Pakistan went into such a stupid mentality, which has made it impossible to progress and become a viable country. When we see India, we see the same system left by Britishers, the great Britishers, who created magic in India, and today they are superpower. And today, Pakistan is about to be dismantled. God bless.